Holy crap, it's a Sunday video and I'm in Lincoln? Hello everybody, this video is probably a bit of a surprise because it's not a direct upload and my phone just vibrated and put me off. Bad phone! Yeah, so I've actually managed to come back to Lincoln on a Sunday, which is pretty impressive for me, because I usually end up being stuck at home or missing trains or anything, but no, I had gale force mum and dad getting me to get on a train at the right time, so I left at 4 and got here about an hour ago, which is quite fun. As you are aware, if you have Facebook, it's probably snowing by you, or has been. It started snowing in Risborough at about 5ish on Saturday afternoon, and then it got really, really snowy to the point that when I drove up from Becky's to my parents' house, it was the worst driving conditions I've ever been in. Oh my god, my computer's gone haywire. Get back here, you wily coyote. There we go. So when I drove back to my parents' house, it was the worst driving conditions ever. Like, my brakes did not work at all. They went from... I drove out the end of my road, put the brakes on when I was a good 20, 30, 40-ish feet away from the junction, and I just slid out into the junction, which is, you know, very unsafe, but lucky enough the cars were going about 5 miles an hour, so I had enough time to turn and get back on my way. And I've never driven so slowly and carefully in my life. It was like a blizzard. It was horrible. My weekend was pretty... well, the shortest... I think it's the shortest trip back I've had since I've been at uni. I got back about 1 o'clock on Saturday and then sort of hung around with Becky for the day, and then on the Sunday we went round to Becky's nanny and granddad's house in onesies. I had my onesie on underneath my clothes and was very, very cozy. It's literally like 30 feet up the road, but I was still like, I'm gonna put some clothes on over this because I'm cold as hell. And so I looked like I was completely normally dressed, except I had devil horns on my hood and a tail sticking out the bottom of my jacket, which was quite fun. So yeah, we had a nice bit of cup of tea. Then I went around to my parents' house and had a bit of an accusation from my parents, if I'm going to be honest. They didn't believe that I'd been at uni this week, but I have been, and if they actually bothered to watch my videos. My dad does. My dad watched a video of mine, the one where I was very stressed before Harriet's wedding. He watched that video, because I think more of my videos come up on Twitter, and my parents follow me on Twitter, because, you know, I'm so awesome. But he watched that video, and so if they'd have watched all my videos, they would have seen that I would have been here. But, yeah, I didn't want to bring that up as an argument or anything, because I'm trying to build a really good relationship with my parents again. Well, not... I say again as if something significant has happened. No, I'm just trying to stop being so argumentative with my parents, because when you confront your parents and just shout at them, it never gets anywhere. So if you just calm the hell down, it's always better. Like, as angry as you can get, your parents will always be angrier, because, you know, they're parents, it's what they do. Anyway, with that philosophical bit aside, my trip back today was so unbelievably annoyingly rubbish, because I left Risborough at 20 to 4, but I got to the station at 3, so I was there for 40 minutes in the freezing cold. But I already had wet feet, because my shoes have holes in, because they're rubbish. And so I had incredibly wet feet and walking through the snow, and it was really cold, and I had a bit too much to carry. Like, it was enough that you could carry it in theory, but it wasn't like a comfortable amount, so now my shoulders are aching and it's rubbish. Because if you followed my tweets today, I would have been tweeting a lot about how angry I am about everything that's been happening today, and if you follow my Twitter, it's at George the Jester. So yeah, just follow that. I update it pretty regularly, because I got told off for the amount of times I update Facebook, so now I'm doing it more with Twitter. But yeah, you can follow me on that. And so yeah, eventually I got to Nottingham, and I was walking down a set of stairs, and I noticed my friend Stace was there. If you remember in Friday's video, or Saturday's video, I talked about when we went on a night out and Stace wasn't there. It's because she was back home with her family for her photography project. And she looked up at me, and I smiled at her, and then she sort of gave me quite a confused look and continued walking down the platform, and I was like, okay. So I thought, oh god, what have I done? What have I done now? What has George gone and put his boot in it for now? I followed her down to the end of the platform, and I just took my hat off, and I was like, are you going to completely blank me? And then she realised it was me. And it's because I was wearing a hat and scarf and jacket and gloves and everything that she didn't recognise it was me, and she thought I was following her, which was kind of not awkward in any way. There was a guy on the train that was doing origami with literally any bit of paper that he could find. He was a normal guy, like similar age to me. I thought he was just really bored, and he was just like folding paper, like, you know, when people fold it really like neatly along like a line with like their nail to get like a real thing and then like rip it. I don't know, I thought that's what he was doing, but then after a minute I looked over and he'd made like a little like ball thing, and so that's quite cool. And then he got his train ticket and ripped a third of it off, and it had this like square, and then he made it into like a swan, and then that's a hand representation of a swan. And then he made an even smaller swan that was half the size of this one, so it was like a tiny swan, a big swan, and a bull, and it was like quite amazing that people have random talents like that. So yeah, I think a really good idea for me today was to sit and like work when I was on the train, like writing the shot list for my film, but I didn't. I ended up watching The Fresh Prince because I still haven't worked my way through it. I've also started watching a new series called The Almighty Johnsons, which is about a guy in New Zealand who finds out his entire family are the Norse gods, which is quite cool. The first episode doesn't really give too much away, and I've got the next 5 set to download, so I'm going to have like a watch through them, and maybe I'll give a little bit more in-depth review in the future. On a completely vain note, I quite like my hair today, so, I mean, I've had a really crap day, but my hair looks alright, so, woo, vanity! And also the last thing, I just want to say hello to 2 new people that have subscribed to me. TinyDX95T2, hello, thank you for subscribing to me, that's really awesome. And JosieB123, who is actually Josie, who I go and see, who's in the occasional videos. She's the girl that leans in when Greg's very ill. That's Josie. Hi Josie, you should go on her channel because she has like one thing up of her digital media work which you should all watch and rate because that's quite cool. Anyway, that's about it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Rah!